Hey, so what is up guys? So welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about iPadOS 26. Now, as always, there are going to be chapters and notes, that way you guys can, skip around, and to be honest, I'm not stopping you because I don't want you guys just to watch me do it. I want you guys to experience. So definitely skip around if you feel like it. But first, we're just going to start out with, a little bit of the background of iPadOS, and really it just goes all the way from iOS, 15. And so we'll just start out with, I guess, iOS 18. And so the thing is that, it was a great year. Everyone really wanted an operating system for the iPad that would work more like the Mac. And people have been asking for this for multiple years since they've been putting the M1 in the iPad. Basically sort of making the iPad more like a Surface laptop. You know how Surface has those, or Microsoft has those laptops that basically act just like the iPad. And so, I think we might have actually got it. Now, hopefully it continues to improve, because obviously I've been testing the beta for about a couple of days. And so, we hope that it continues to improve, and that, more websites, I guess you could say, will be better optimized for it, just like how it looks on the Mac. Obviously, this will not be replacing my current MacBook M4 Pro setup, just because, well, it's an iPad mini that this is running on. And the surprising factor about this iPad mini is that it can actually run it. And so the amazing part about, the background of iPadOS 26 is that it looks more like a Mac. It functions more like a Mac. It's more intuitive. The dock is expandable, so you can add a ton of icons in the dock. As always, you're gonna have that liquid trash design, but more on that later. But I would like to dive in, get into it. Let's experience iPadOS together. And so yeah, let's do it. All right, so what is up guys? So this is iPadOS 26 running on my little 6-inch iPad mini, and to be honest, I'm surprised that it can actually run well enough to do this. But anyway, so yeah, okay, so liquid glass, it's all right, but why do some apps look like this? Like, why does it gotta look like that? It shouldn't look like that. A lot of these apps don't even look finished. They just look very weird. But let's just say I want to turn split viewing off. You can actually access a command in Control Center to turn it off and on easily. I'm just gonna leave it on just for right now, just because that's what's new in iPadOS 26. So let's just say I want to open Safari. Well, Safari will open in a full view way. But let's just say I want to then minimize Safari, like resize it, downsize it. And apps sort of in this update, they'll load into chunks. And so they load just a little bit, they're optimized for sure, like Safari, but it's definitely going to take a little bit for other applications to optimize to it. But you have all the views, like you have Safari, you have the edit the view, you can do different things, file, you have all these different views from the menu bar, which is amazing because it, mimics the Mac. But here's one cool thing. You can easily jump out of full screen mode, just like that. And let's just say I want to open the calculator. Well, see, this is what I don't like about the iPad 2. It's just the mouse is just terribly small. So I got the calculator right here, but then boom, just like that, I have two apps open, and I can easily just split view them like that. And then I can split view this one over here if I really wanted to. It works just like how sort of a Mac could work. Another main, feature about this update is that the filing system has been changed to, work a little bit better, and it's a little bit more intuitive. If I'm going to be honest, I never used the file management system on the iPad, so I wouldn't be the one complaining about it. But yes, so as you can see, it doesn't really look as well optimized whenever I just resized the image to fit the screen, but I guess if I do it that way, then it looks a lot better. Again, it's easy to just go home, like, if I had a magic mouse with me, it would be easier to go home. But as always, you can just swipe up, and then you got all these different views. So these are basically all of your tabs. So I had the clock open. What if I wanted to reopen it? the clock is reopened in the foreground, but then in the background, just click over here. Then I got Safari, click that that red light, green light bar. Minimizing is a little weird, just because it basically just closes out the app sort of. I mean, I guess you could say it runs in the background, but as you can see, it says like that it's minimized over there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole update, and let's get back to the chair. That way we can, dive deeper and, discuss more about it. Okay, so here's like my moment of outro. So is the update really different? To be honest, yes. Yes, it is. Would I say it works sort of like a Mac? Yes, it does. I think Apple sort of checked the box of, it possibly working just like a Mac. The only issues I really have with it is just, what is Apple going to do to continue to update this product, this operating system? And especially for hey, so future me. So yeah, relatively you can buy some pretty decent iPad models like the M1 2021 iPad with cellular renewed for around $550 plus adding on the keyboard. If you want to go to Apple, it's going to be around $1,500 just to buy a full 256 gigabyte iPad with Wi-Fi only, with the Magic Keyboard, 12.9 inch. Nothing special. And so to be honest, when you're buying an iPad right now, the best idea for me especially is probably just going for the used market. And so it's like, where does the MacBook Air sort of stand in all of this? To be honest, we don't really know. Now what's funny is that Apple's processors have gotten so efficient. They're very power efficient, they run well, they don't run hot, that it's, it wouldn't be surprising if they throw an M1 chip or an M series chip in an iPad mini, like that one I just showcased. Because I feel like that's what they've been focusing on lately, is how can they make a product smaller but have more power. But the other main feature about this update was the exporting and importing files when using the file management. Apple did update the file management system to work a little bit better and to be a little bit more intuitive and less iPhone-like. The other main feature of this whole update was that you can move files and you could export files, import in the background without having to, stay in the application and, import it through there. Which is something that we all really wanted, because before it was impossible to do it without leaving the app running. By that I mean leaving the app physically open. But now applications should run in the background. So if you say to edit videos on your iPad Pro or different things like that, then great, works great. Now here's where I stand in this whole thing. I think it's great. I think it's great that Apple finally listened to us, users who, use their products daily. That's amazing. And when they said that it was a major update, this one actually is pretty major. I will say the liquid glass design does look pretty ass, and it's terrible. It actually is cheeks, and yeah, it looks bad. It doesn't really look fully optimized, and to be honest, the new camera app looks like a bootleg Chinese version of the camera. Yeah. But where do I stand on this? Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Will it be replacing my MacBook Pro? No. I just bought a $4,000 laptop. I'm not planning to replace my Mac anytime soon with an iPad, just because the M4 Pro chip runs so freaking well, and I haven't had a single problem with it. And so that is just why I don't think it's not time for me to actually replace it, especially just because got it in a couple months ago and I replaced it, from a 2014 Intel iMac or Mac Pro. So let me know what you guys think about this whole video. Definitely hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out another video if you guys are interested. We'll definitely probably try to do a video more in depth of the actual iOS 26 running on the iPhone 13. But as always, stay safe, and we'll see you guys around. So yeah, peace out.